What's going on, guys? It's Jay from JaysGolf.com. Today I'm in my driveway and you can see my car and my clubs. So what am I doing today? I am going to do a, well, as quick as I can do one, what's in my bag video. It was actually requested by a couple people that wanted to know what was in my bag, which is kind of cool. But I was also gonna add to the end of the quick what's in my bag overview the reason why the burner is back in my bag and the R1 is no longer in the bag. So, like I said, I'll get into that at the end. So, first and foremost, as you probably just have surmised and can see, my driver right now and for the foreseeable future is the Burner Superfast 2.0. I bought this. It's a good thing about having a Jeep behind you. You can just throw your head covers in there. Anyway, I bought this after having the predecessor burner, the non-white burner, the tour burner, I believe it was called, and I really like the burner series. Primarily because there's more forgiveness. If you look at it this angle, there's more forgiveness laterally. I don't know if you can see in this close up the ball marks, but I pretty much have a good, I hit it pretty well in the center, but when I do hit it off the toe and or the heel, there's far more forgiveness with this Burner Superfast 2.0 than any other driver I've hit. And I'll get into detail about the R1 versus this later. Alright, now for my 3-wood, that's actually a $34 GigaGolf.com. If you go to GigaGolf, that's G-I-G-A Golf, G-O-L-F.com, you will find a, basically, not basically, they are a knockoff golf club manufacturer, but they do a really nice job. For those of you that are just starting out, I think I've talked about this on my site, JaysGolf.com. I really recommend GigaGolf.com. For those that are just starting out, that don't want to spend a bunch of money, they don't have the ability or the money to get a custom fit set of clubs. I've only had 2 of those in my whole entire life, and 1 in my adult life. So I had a custom set when I was playing in high school, i.e. when I was competing, and then when I got old enough, and if you haven't seen it, check out the article on my custom fitting on JaysGolf.com. I'll link it down below, all that good stuff. And I went through, well, once I got old enough and started Jays Golf and I had the money, I went through the whole fitting process and bought myself a set of irons. This is really getting annoying. A set of irons that was fit for me and my swing in my adulthood, in my 30s. So, but anyway, I digress. Getting back to this GigaGolf 3-wood. What this is, it's a little dirty. That's a good thing, means I'm playing, right? What the GigaGolf 3-wood is a knockoff of the Callaway X series, which is no longer in production. Neither is this club, for that matter. It's a 15-degree 3-wood. Nothing special about it. In fact, it was only $34. For me, just like the driver, it's extra long, so it's got a good 1.5 inches more than versus this 3-wood. So I won't get into it too much, other than the fact that this just feels right. It feels soft, it's made well. I like the length. I hit it further, I hit it straighter. When I had it fitting, the fitters, called Club Champion, I'll give them a plug because they're awesome. Definitely check them out. I'll leave links down for them too. They were unable to beat this $34 3-wood. They were unable to beat this by, well, okay, they beat it, but not to a degree where I wanted to spend $300 to $500 on a single club. Not happening. I'm just not to that level. No. So this is still in my bag, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. So moving on, I had 2 hybrids. Let's go with this one first, just because there's a story behind it. When I got a lesson 3 years ago now, 2010 I believe, down in Florida. The gentleman that I got the lesson from, and there's a video to that on the channel as well, Mike Richards, pulled this from their pro shop. It's the TaylorMade railer. I think you can still probably get it either on Amazon.com or eBay, something like that. It's definitely not in production anymore. But the reason that I really like this hybrid is because of the sole. It has a nice convex sole and almost literally a point down at the bottom. So if you're in the rough, if you even have a tight lie off of a fairway, I like this club a lot because it's versatile, and for lack of a better way to put it, it works. It gets me out of trouble. It feels good. It sounds good. All the things that you want in a club that you have in your bag. This is a 22-degree hybrid. So this essentially replaces 4-iron, 7-wood, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this replaces a long iron for me. So we will move on here, trying to keep this as quick as possible. I picked up a year and a half ago. I was debating whether to keep my 5-wood or to get another hybrid. So given that I like the Burner series, Burner Superpass 2.0, specifically the driver, I figured I would give the hybrid version, or the hybrid, version, or the hybrid line a shot. I like the white. I definitely, as stated, I like the railer a lot. So I went ahead and got the 18-degree 3 hybrid in the Burner series. Everything about this, and the railer for that matter, is stock. It's off the shelf, off the rack. But if you treat these clubs like they're an iron in terms of address, as opposed to the woods where I like them longer, and once I got used to that, I fit really well into this club. In fact, off the tee, this Burner Superpass 2.0 hybrid, I have a wicked draw on this thing. So if I'm hitting it off the tee on a short par 3, I'm literally going to be aiming 20 to 30 yards left. I'm a lefty. Left of the pin, and it almost always comes back. When it doesn't, I'm in some trouble, but it almost always comes back right at the pin. It's a thing of beauty. I love it. So I fit right into this. It does have a bit of a offset at the neck. Hopefully you can see that there, although I think maybe I'm blocking it, but either way, I don't have a camera to show you a address, but that didn't really bother me too much. I don't know that it helped or hurt me, because the railer does not have the doesn't have that. It just has a straight shaft. There's no assistance, if you will. But I can definitely, this club does not have the same sole structure as the railer for sure, but it is convex sole, so if you have the ball above or below your feet, you're still going to make good contact with it. So I definitely hit this club well, and be hard pressed to get that out of my club. Okay, now on to the Mizuno MP53s. They are the clubs that I got fitted for at Club Champion. I got a 6 through a pitching wedge. Because, quite honestly, with those hybrids, I'm not going to be hitting a 5 iron, 4 iron, certainly not a 3 iron. I've hit them in my past. It's just, why work that hard when you can get hybrids like these? So anyhow, like I said, it's a 6 through a 7, so there's no real need to pull them all out. Also, you can get an in-depth review that I did on the MP53s. They're in the middle of a blade. They're Mizunos. They're in the middle of the JPX 800 and the MP59s. The 59s were bladed all the way. These, the longer shafted clubs, have a slight cavity back to them, so they do give you a bit more forgiveness. When I was getting fit, they wanted me to get me into the JPX series, the game improvement irons, or even like a Adams Red Line or something like that. But to be honest with you, looking down, having started with blades when I started playing when I was a teenager, young teenager, they didn't have game improvement irons. So when I look down at this club, the thin top line of this just puts my mind at ease, puts my mental in a good place, which is almost as, if not more important than the actual club itself. So as I said, this is custom fit in terms of length, in terms of shaft, in terms of shaft stiffness, torque, the whole nine. When I hit this club, again, it is the Mizuno MP53. It's the grain flow forged. So when you hit this, when you hit a ball with this, it feels like butter. It is, I'm at a loss for words, because when you hit this pure, it feels like you didn't hit a darn thing at all, and the ball just sails. So I definitely am very, very happy with those. So second to last are my 3 wedges. Okay, now I settled on the pitching wedge that I got with that custom set, the Mizuno MP53. So the only 2 wedges right now that are in my bag, that are different are a 52 degree Cleveland. It's a CG15. This is actually the year prior to the Groove Rule. So technically speaking, when I go out for the web.com tour / nationwide, whatever they want to call it these days, I will have to take this out of the bag. But for now, it's staying, because even though it's off the rack, steel shafted, this club, I'm able to stop the ball pretty much on a dime from 50 yards and in, if I have a tight lie or even if I'm in the rough. And I should talk and take out this sand wedge. So it's, as far as its loft, I believe this is a 56. I believe. Almost 99% sure it's 56. But this is another JaysGolf. This is from a set that I bought. This is this is from a set that I purchased I want to say in like 08, something like that, 06, 08, way before JaysGolf existed in the whole 9 yards. I played around with some other sand wedges. I have a Titleist. I actually have the TaylorMade wedge. The TaylorMade wedge is a 60 degree. There's a video I did on that. That's a little too much in terms of loft because I just don't hit it that far. And I'm not trying to go over any dogwood trees, hopefully. But this, I have not found a better club. And this is also fitted to me via JaysGolf's online fitting system in terms of length. It's graphite shaft, so it's light. So I'm able to cut through heavy rough, heavy sand, heavy whatever the heck fairly easily because it's got a light shaft and a heavy head. The head, looking down on it, the black matte finish that it has, it's just a comfortable club. It just works. Okay, last but not least, and this is probably gonna annoy some of you, and I don't care. It's a 50-inch putter, Wand putter. It's a Yes putter with the C grooves. The actual model is a Caroline. It's a bladed head with a middle shaft placement on the head. Now, I wrap my to get in and out quick. I'll just wrap a glove around it instead of sticking it so it dries out in the summer. Now, I love this because it's heavy, it's long, I'm able to putt well with it, and I don't really anchor because I hold it like a hockey stick. Okay, now, when I used to play street hockey in this very driveway, when I was a little dude, which was probably about 3 inches shorter than I am now, I had a really, really good wrist shot, really accurate. So once I figured out and stopped using the standard length putter and used this and started to figure out that, hey, if I hold this like a hockey stick, I have about the same, it feels the same as a wrist shot, relatively speaking, more like a pass, wrist, a saucer pass or whatnot in hockey. And I was really accurate with it. And it stabilized my grip because my right arm, which is my affected arm, gets a little squirrely when I'm with a standard putter and I'm trying to putt. This will get jumpy and it'll take my club offline the whole 9 yards. So when I got my hands on this, or my hand, I was able to use my stable hand, the hand that works just fine, if not better than some other people's hands. And I found success. So that leads me to the last part about this video. And other than the request, a reason why I'm doing it is to talk about the R1 versus the Burner 2.0. Here's the R1. Recently, when I was down in North Carolina and I was playing with a friend of mine, you can see hopefully you can see the different tee marks on the base here and some of the ball marks. You can also see the difference in, or lack of, lateral forgiveness. Yeah, it's deeper horizontally, but laterally it's much thinner, it's not as wide. So if you do not hit the club nice and flush in the middle, you're not going to get near the forgiveness that you do with the Burner 2.0 laterally on the face. So look, I'm not knocking this club. When I hit it pure, it takes off. I mean, for me, a good drive carry is somewhere in the neighborhood of 180 to 200. you know, putting egos and swinging you-know-what's aside. That's about my carry. Sometimes with this club, I would be able to carry it 220. And I go out there and I do the math, and after the rollout, I'm looking at a drive that was close to 230, 245, somewhere in that range. It was incredible. That's not to say that I have not been able to do that with the Burner Superpass 2.0. But the point I'm making or driving at here is that over the course of the summer, while I was playing with this R1, those long drives that I just referenced were much less in frequency. And I would see some carries of 150, 160. I get out there and it wouldn't even roll out to 200. Or I'd miss-hit, again, speaking about lateral, I'd miss-hit it off the heel or even the toe a little bit more. Because the shaft is shorter, that also screwed me up. So I would tend to overcompensate and hit it off the heel. And when I did that, it was basically a flub shot. And I'd be having to recover because my drive only went 150 yards. That's not acceptable in terms of an everyday in-your-bag driver. Okay? Now, I understand that in this particular case, it's the player's fault, moi. But if I have a club where I don't make those mistakes as much, why in the world is it not in my bag? And this speaks to what my friend Zach said to me when we were in North Carolina, and I had a couple bad shots. I also had a couple good shots. So we saw both. And when I would make the bad shots, I don't remember what I said, but it had something to do with, I'm thinking about going back to the Burner 2.0. And he'd seen me play with that, a full round, multiple rounds. And he basically said to me something that was very, not simple, but just to the point, and something that I tend to do, which is overanalyze. He said, if you have a club that works, or no, I actually knew what he said to me. He said, you switch clubs too often, which is partly because of the whole JaysGolf thing. I like to try the new clubs to bring reviews and things like that. But in terms of an everyday players club, my buddy's right. I switch too much. In terms of finding something that really works, which is that the Burner 2.0 versus this, I'm so much more consistent with the Burner. So unfortunately, as pretty as this is, no, it's not going in the bag. The Burner is. This is. I mean, it just feels better, and that's that. So, hopefully, you enjoyed this very long video. I know I go on and I talk a lot. Maybe you took some tidbits out of it. If you just wanted to see which clubs were in my bag, that's great too. The bag itself, there's a review on that. It's an Air Geo. It's a super bag. Last but not least, because I think I might use it, one thing that I keep in my bag at all times is bug spray with at least 80% DEET, because without it, you're going to get eaten alive. So, beyond balls and tees, definitely get yourself a little one of these guys to put into your bag. So with that, I'll let y'all go. I hope you dug the video. If you did, as always, I appreciate the thumbs up. Any comments you got, any questions, if you want to know more about any of the clubs I talked about, where to buy them, any of that, shoot me a comment down below. And until next time, catch you in the next video. Later.